Hi, everyone. Welcome to English Today Journey. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe so you can get daily tips to improve your English. Today, we're going to talk about something very important, something that can change the way you think about success, not just in learning English, but in life as a whole. The idea is simple, but it's also very powerful. Your mindset is more important than talent. Let me start by asking you a question. Have you ever met someone who seemed very talented? Maybe they were amazing at playing an instrument, really good at sports, or could learn new languages very quickly. At first, you probably thought, wow, this person is so talented. They're going to achieve so much in life. It seems natural to assume that talent leads to success, right? But after some time, you might notice something surprising. Even though they were naturally talented, they didn't always continue to improve. Maybe they stopped practicing, or lost motivation, or even gave up completely. Have you ever seen something like that happen? Most of us have. It's a little shocking because we often think talent is all we need to succeed. But the truth is, talent alone is not enough. Now, think about the opposite situation. Maybe you know someone who wasn't very talented at first. They didn't seem special or gifted in any way. But they had something else, something even more important, a strong mindset. They believed in themselves. They believed they could improve with effort. Even when it was difficult, they kept trying. They practiced again and again, stayed consistent, and never gave up. Slowly but surely, this person began to improve. Step by step, they got better and better. And in the end, this person often goes further than someone who is naturally talented but gave up too soon. This is when we learn an important lesson. Talent can open the door, but mindset is what keeps you walking through it. This is what I want to talk about today, the power of mindset. Having talent is great, but if you don't have the right mindset, it can't take you very far. On the other hand, if you believe in yourself, keep practicing, and stay consistent, you can achieve more than you ever imagined. Think about learning English. Some people seem to pick it up quickly, almost like they were born to speak it. But if they stop practicing or lose interest, they won't reach their full potential. Meanwhile, someone who struggles at first but never gives up will gradually become really good. The same idea applies to everything in life: school, sports, hobbies, or even building friendships. Your mindset is like the engine that drives you forward. Talent might give you a head start, but it's your mindset, determination, and persistence that decide how far you'll really go. So the next time you feel frustrated about not being good enough, remember this: it's not about being born talented. It's about believing in yourself, working hard, and never giving up, even when it's hard. So, what can you do today to build a strong mindset? Start by setting small goals and practicing every day. Celebrate your progress, no matter how tiny. Keep trying even when it's difficult. Over time, you'll notice that your skills improve more and more. And slowly, step by step, you'll realize that mindset really is more powerful than talent. Remember, talent can open the door, but mindset is what makes you succeed. Keep this in mind, and you'll see yourself grow not only in English, but in every part of your life. Let's continue talking about why mindset is more important than talent. Think of it like this. Talent is like a seed. It has potential. It can grow into something amazing. But for the seed to grow, it needs the right soil, water, and sunlight. If the soil is poor, or if the seed doesn't get enough water or sunlight, it won't grow, no matter how good the seed is. Talent alone cannot guarantee success. This is the amazing part. While talent is something you are born with, mindset is something you can create and strengthen. You can work on it every day, just like watering a plant. Over time, a strong mindset can help you overcome challenges, stay motivated, and keep growing, even if you weren't born with a natural talent. Now, I want you to think about your own life. Are there areas where you have been relying too much on talent? Maybe you've said to yourself, I'm just not good at this, so I'll never succeed. Or maybe you thought, I'm talented, so I don't really need to work hard. Both of these ways of thinking can hold you back. One assumes failure before trying, and the other assumes success without effort. Neither is helpful. What truly matters is how you think, how you react to challenges, and how you keep going even when things are hard. That is what mindset really means. Talent is a gift you are given, but mindset is a choice you make every day. What you choose to do, what you believe, and how you think will shape your future much more than any talent you were born with. Before we go further, let's clearly understand the difference between talent and mindset, because people often confuse them. They are not the same. Talent is something you are naturally good at. It is an ability that comes easily to you, sometimes without much effort. For example, some people have a natural talent for music. They hear a song once and can play it on the piano perfectly. Some are naturally good at sports. They can move quickly, learn techniques easily, and perform well without much practice. Others may be talented at speaking, drawing, solving problems, or understanding things quickly. These natural abilities are wonderful, but talent alone is not enough to reach your goals. Mindset, on the other hand, is the way you think, especially when you face difficulties. Mindset is about how you react when things are hard, how you handle mistakes, and whether you keep trying even when success is not immediate. Someone with a strong mindset doesn't give up when things are tough. They see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. They understand that failure is not the end. It is a step on the path to success. Let's think about it this way. Talent might open the first door for you. It gives you a starting point. But mindset is what keeps you walking through that door. Mindset is what pushes you to practice every day, to learn from mistakes, and to keep growing no matter how many obstacles you face. It is what separates people who achieve great things from people who give up too soon. So remember this. Talent is a gift. Mindset is a choice. Talent can give you a head start, but your mindset will decide how far you go. If you work on building a strong mindset, you can achieve more than you ever imagined, even if you start without natural talent. This is the power of mindset. It can change not just how good you are at something, but your whole life. Let's talk more about mindset and why it is so important. Mindset is about what you believe about yourself, your effort, and your ability to grow. When you have a strong mindset, you believe that with time and practice, you can get better at anything. You don't give up when something is hard. Instead, you keep trying, step by step, until you improve. A weak mindset is different. People with a weak mindset might think things like, I can't do this. I'm just not smart enough. If I fail, it means I'm not good. These thoughts make it easy to stop trying. People with a weak mindset often give up because they are afraid of failing. They see mistakes as something negative rather than helpful. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset see failure differently. They understand that mistakes are part of learning. Every failure or difficulty is a chance to grow stronger, smarter, and more skilled. They keep going because they know effort and practice lead to improvement over time. This is the big idea again. Talent can give you a head start, but mindset is what keeps you moving forward. Even if you don't feel naturally talented at something, remember this. You can always build your mindset. You can choose to keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. This is how real success begins, not with talent, but with the right mindset. Now, let's look more closely at talent. Some people seem to be born with special abilities. They might run faster, jump higher, or move more gracefully than others. Maybe you've seen a child who can draw beautiful pictures without ever taking an art class. That is talent. It comes naturally, almost like a gift. You didn't work for it at first, but somehow you have it. Talent is wonderful, but it is only the beginning. It gives you a starting point, but it doesn't decide where you will end up in life. This is where mindset comes in. Mindset is not about what comes easily to you. It is about how you think, how you feel about challenges, and how you respond when things are difficult. Mindset is your attitude, your beliefs, and the story you tell yourself about what you can do. It is what helps you keep going when things get hard, instead of giving up. Imagine two people. The first person believes they can learn, grow, and improve with time and effort. When they make mistakes, they see them as lessons. They practice every day, even when it is difficult. The second person believes that abilities are fixed. They think, I either can do this or I can't. When they face difficulty, they give up. Over time, the first person usually achieves much more than the second person, even if the second person seemed more talented at first. This shows something very important. Talent is just a starting point, but mindset is what determines how far you go. You can have a little talent and a strong mindset and achieve amazing things. Or you can have a lot of talent and a weak mindset and reach only a small part of your potential. Mindset is what shapes your effort, your learning, and your success. So, remember this. If you want to achieve great things, focus on building your mindset. Believe in yourself, face challenges bravely, learn from mistakes, and keep practicing. Talent might give you a first advantage, but your mindset is the real key to reaching your goals. Let's continue by talking more about growth mindset and fixed mindset. Imagine two people learning something new. The first person believes that they can improve with practice and effort. Even if it's hard at first, they keep trying. This way of thinking is called a growth mindset. People with a growth mindset see mistakes as chances to learn. They know that effort and persistence help them get better every day. The second person believes that abilities are fixed. They think, I'm either good at this or I'm not, and nothing can change that. This is called a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset often give up when things get hard. They see challenges as obstacles, not opportunities. Now, which person do you think will go further in life? Of course, it's the person with a growth mindset. They don't give up when something is difficult. They see challenges as ways to learn, grow, and improve. Here's an easy way to understand the difference between talent and mindset. Think of talent as a seed. A seed has the potential to become something amazing, a flower, or a strong, tall tree. But if you just leave the seed on a table, nothing will happen. It will stay the same. For the seed to grow, it needs the right environment, good soil, water, and sunlight. Without these things, the seed cannot grow to its full potential. Now, think of mindset as the soil, water, and sunlight. Your mindset creates the right environment for your talent to grow. Without a healthy mindset, even great talent can stay stuck and never reach its full potential. But with the right mindset, even a small amount of talent can grow into something much bigger and stronger than you ever imagined. Let's bring this idea closer to something you know, learning English. Some people seem to have a natural talent for languages. They can learn new words quickly, copy accents easily, and understand grammar almost instantly. But what happens if a talented person has a weak mindset? Maybe they are lazy, maybe they avoid practicing, or maybe they give up after making a few mistakes. Their talent might help them at first, but without effort and persistence, they won't go far. Now, think about another learner. This person doesn't feel naturally gifted in languages. Grammar feels confusing, pronunciation is difficult, and they make mistakes often. But they have a strong mindset. They practice every day, even when it's hard. They keep learning from their mistakes. Over time, step by step, they improve. Slowly but surely, they become very good at English, sometimes even better than someone who had natural talent but gave up too soon. This shows a very important lesson. Mindset is more important than talent. Talent can give you a head start, but mindset is what helps you keep going, improve, and succeed in the long run. Whether it's learning a language, playing sports, drawing, or doing schoolwork, your mindset is what determines how far you will go. So remember this. Talent is like a seed, and mindset is the soil, water, and sunlight that helps it grow. Even a small seed can become a tall, strong tree if it has the right environment. And in your life, that environment is your attitude, beliefs, and persistence. If you take care of your mindset, You can achieve more than you ever imagined, no matter how much natural talent you have. Let's continue with another example of how mindset beats talent. Imagine someone learning English. At first, they make mistakes and feel embarrassed. Maybe they say words wrong, mispronounce things, or forget grammar rules. Most people would feel discouraged and want to give up. But this person doesn't. They have a strong mindset. They keep practicing every day. They read, listen, speak, and try again, even when it's hard. They believe that every little effort will help them improve. Over time, this person will probably become more fluent and more confident than a talented learner who stopped trying.
Why?
Because a strong mindset beats natural talent every time. Talent can give you a head start, but it's mindset that keeps you moving forward. Here's another way to understand it. Think of talent as the engine of a car. A good engine gives the car power. It can go very fast and has potential. But the driver is like your mindset. Even if the car has the most powerful engine in the world, if the driver doesn't know how to control it, doesn't pay attention, or doesn't care about the road, the car won't go anywhere. On the other hand, even if the engine is small or not perfect, a careful, focused, and determined driver can still reach their destination, maybe slowly, maybe step by step, but they will succeed. Mindset is like the driver. It gives you direction, keeps you on the road, and helps you reach your goals, no matter how challenging the journey is. Talent is important, but without mindset, it won't take you far. Now, let's pause and reflect. Think about your own life. What do you usually rely on more, your talent or your mindset? Be honest with yourself. Have you ever thought, I'm just not good at this, so why even try? Or maybe the opposite. I'm naturally good at this, so I don't need to work hard. Both of these ways of thinking can hold you back. If you rely only on talent, you might stop growing. You may feel comfortable where you are and never push yourself to improve. And if you believe you have no talent, you might stop trying even before you give yourself a real chance. Here's the good news. Mindset can change everything. You don't need to be born with special abilities to succeed. With the right mindset, you can learn, grow, and achieve more than you ever imagined. You can face challenges, overcome mistakes, and keep moving forward, even when things are difficult. Your mindset gives you control over your own success. Think about learning English again. Even if you feel slow or struggle at first, practicing every day, believing in yourself, and not giving up will take you much farther than relying only on natural talent. Every small step counts. Every mistake is a lesson. Every day you keep learning is a day your mindset grows stronger. So remember this. Talent is important, but mindset is what drives your success. Talent is like the engine, it gives power. Mindset is like the driver. It gives direction, focus, and determination. With the right mindset, you can go far, no matter where you start or how big your talent is. Let's finish this idea by looking at why mindset is more important than talent. No matter where you start, the key is that you can always move forward. Think of it like this. Talent is a seedling, something you are born with. Mindset is how you use that seedling to grow. Talent is passive. It exists inside you, but by itself it won't do anything. Mindset is active. It's something you choose and practice every day. Talent gives you a starting point, but mindset decides how far you'll go. And unlike talent, which you can't fully control, mindset is completely in your hands. You can shape it, strengthen it, and change it every single day. That is the real power you have. It's easy to believe that talent alone is enough for success. Society celebrates talent everywhere. We admire singers with beautiful voices. We cheer for athletes who seem unstoppable. We notice students who get perfect grades without even trying. From the outside, it looks like talent is a magic key that opens every door. But here's the truth. Talent alone is never enough. Without the right mindset, even the most talented person can struggle, lose motivation, or fail to reach their true potential. Let's look at an example from sports. In almost every sport, there are young athletes who show amazing skill at an early age. They seem born for the game. They run fast, jump high, and perform confidently. Coaches notice them. Fans cheer for them. Everyone says, "This person is going to be a star." But what happens next? Some of these talented athletes stop training seriously. Maybe they believe their natural ability is enough. Maybe they lose focus. Or maybe they don't know how to handle setbacks, like losing a game, getting injured, or facing strong competition. Slowly, their progress stops. Sometimes their careers end before they ever truly begin. At the same time, there are other athletes who might not look so gifted at first. They may be slower, less confident, or even overlooked, but they have a strong mindset. They work hard every day, practice consistently, and face challenges without giving up. When they make mistakes, they learn from them. They keep improving step by step. Over time, these athletes often surpass the naturally talented ones who relied only on their abilities. This story shows a simple truth. Talent can open doors, but mindset determines how far you walk through them. Talent is important, it gives you potential, but mindset is what drives improvement, learning, and growth. Without mindset, talent alone won't take you far. With mindset, even small talent can grow into something amazing. So remember this. No matter how talented you are or aren't, you can always choose to strengthen your mindset. You can keep practicing, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. That is what will make the biggest difference in your life, whether you are learning English, playing sports, studying, or pursuing any goal. Mindset is your power, and it is completely under your control. Let's look at more examples of how mindset can beat talent. In sports, some athletes may not seem special at first, but they train hard every single day. They listen to advice, stay focused, and never give up. Over time, these athletes often become the real champions.
Why?
Because talent may give one person a head start, but mindset is what helps you cross the finish line. The same idea happens in music. Imagine a person who is born with a beautiful singing voice. Everyone admires them at first. They sing a song once and people are amazed. But having talent at the beginning isn't enough to succeed as a musician. To go far, you need more than talent. You need practice, discipline, and emotional strength. You need to perform in front of others, deal with criticism, and keep creating even when you don't feel inspired. Many talented singers give up because they can't handle pressure or never develop the habit of practicing consistently. On the other hand, some singers may not have the most amazing voice at first, but they have a strong mindset. They practice breathing, learn singing techniques, perform again and again, and slowly build confidence. Over time, their voices improve, their confidence grows, and they often have long, successful careers because their mindset kept them moving when pure talent alone would have stopped. The same idea applies in school. You've probably met students who are naturally smart. They learn new ideas quickly and don't need to study much, yet they get good grades. But here's the problem. When something becomes difficult, these students may panic. They aren't used to struggling. They haven't built the habit of working hard, so talent alone doesn't prepare them for real challenges. Meanwhile, other students may not be naturally smart at first, but they have a growth mindset. They work hard, stay patient, ask questions, and keep trying. They practice consistently and don't give up when lessons are difficult. Over time, these students build strong skills that last, while the naturally talented ones may fall behind when they face real challenges. What these stories show us is simple but powerful. Talent alone is never enough. Talent can give you a head start, but it is mindset that determines how far you go. Mindset is what helps athletes train when it's tough. Singers practice when they don't feel like it, and students keep learning when it's hard. Talent opens the door, but mindset keeps you moving forward. So, think about your own life. Do you rely too much on talent? Or do you focus on building your mindset? Remember, mindset is active. It's something you practice every day. Talent may be a gift you're born with, but mindset is a choice you make. It is what helps you grow, improve, and succeed in any area of life, whether it's learning English, playing sports, making music, or doing well in school. The lesson is clear. Talent can start you, but mindset finishes the journey. Even if you feel less talented than others, a strong mindset can help you achieve more than you ever imagined. And if you are naturally talented, a strong mindset will make sure that your talent doesn't go to waste. Let's continue with students and how mindset matters more than talent. Some students are naturally smart. They understand lessons quickly and don't need to study much. But when they face something difficult, they may panic or give up. Talent helps them at the beginning, but it doesn't teach them how to handle challenges. Other students may not learn as quickly. They might need more time to understand a lesson. Sometimes, they even fail the first time they try something new. But here's the key difference. They don't give up. They keep trying, stay consistent, and believe that they can improve. Over time, these students often master the subject even better than those who were naturally gifted at first.
Why?
Because their mindset teaches them how to handle difficulty, stay calm when things are hard, and keep moving forward. These are skills far more powerful than natural talent alone. So, if talent is so great, why do many talented people fail to succeed? Usually, it's not because of a lack of ability. It's something inside them, something mental or emotional that holds them back. Let's look at 3 big reasons. 1. Fear of failure. Some people are so afraid of making mistakes that they stop taking risks. They prefer to stay safe in their comfort zone instead of testing their limits. But here's the problem. You can't grow inside your comfort zone. Real growth happens when you take small risks, try new things, and allow yourself to make mistakes. Mistakes aren't the end. They are opportunities to learn. 2. Self-doubt. Even talented people sometimes don't believe in themselves. They question their skills, their worth, and their potential. This self-doubt becomes a wall that blocks them from taking chances or seizing new opportunities. If you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter how talented you are, your talent cannot help you if you don't try. 3. Lack of persistence. Many talented people give up too soon. They may have early success, but when challenges appear, they stop working. Talent can make things seem easy at first, but without persistence, progress stops. Mindset, on the other hand, helps you keep going even when things are difficult. It's consistent effort over time that creates real success, not just natural ability. These 3 challenges, fear of failure, self-doubt, and lack of persistence, show why mindset is so important. Talent can give you a head start, but mindset keeps you moving forward when things get tough. Talent may open the first door, but mindset helps you walk through it, step by step, to reach your goals. This is true in every part of life: learning English, playing sports, making music, or studying at school. Talent is helpful, but it is mindset that shapes your success. People with strong mindsets stay consistent, keep trying, learn from mistakes, and keep improving. People with weak mindsets may have incredible talent, but without belief, focus, and persistence, their potential may never be fully realized. So, remember, talent can start the race, but mindset wins it. You can always improve your mindset, even if you feel less naturally talented than others. And if you are already talented, a strong mindset ensures your talent doesn't go to waste. Perfectionism is one of those things that sounds good at first but can actually hold you back. At first, it seems like a positive trait. After all, who wouldn't want to do things perfectly and achieve great results? It feels responsible, careful, and ambitious. But the problem with perfectionism is that it sets an impossible standard. It makes people believe that everything they do must be flawless. And the truth is, Nothing is ever perfect. Mistakes happen. Things don't always go the way we want them to. And when perfectionists face these situations, they often feel disappointed, frustrated, or even ashamed of themselves. Over time, perfectionism can lead to giving up entirely. Why bother trying if the outcome isn't perfect? Why take a risk if failure is not an option? This is one of the main traps of perfectionism. It quietly tells you that if you can't do something perfectly, it's better not to try at all. And this can stop people from learning, growing, or even enjoying the process of doing something new. Let's pause for a moment and reflect. Think about your own life. Have you ever stopped pursuing a goal because you were afraid of failing? Have you ever avoided starting something new because you thought, I'm just not good enough, or I don't have the talent for this? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Almost everyone has felt that way at some point. It is a common experience, and it is not a sign of weakness or a lack of talent. The important thing to understand is that these feelings usually come from mindset problems, not from real limitations. Here's a crucial idea. Success is rarely determined by raw talent alone. It is not the most naturally gifted person who always wins. Success goes to the people who learn to overcome fear, self-doubt, and the desire for perfection. These people develop the mindset that helps them keep going, even when things are hard. Talent can give someone a head start, but it cannot carry them through every challenge. Talent is like a key that opens the door, but mindset is the energy that pushes the door open and keeps it open when obstacles appear. Life is full of challenges. Everyone faces setbacks, criticism, and moments of frustration. These are unavoidable parts of growing and learning. When these moments come, talent alone is not enough. Mindset, however, can make the difference between giving up and moving forward. So what does mindset actually do in real life? Mindset is not just a fancy word. It is the way people approach challenges and handle failure. People with a strong, positive mindset understand that setbacks are normal. They do not see mistakes or failures as signs of personal weakness. Instead, they see them as opportunities to learn and improve. Everyone experiences failure because nobody succeeds at everything on the first try. But the difference lies in how people respond. Those with a fixed mindset tend to view failure as proof that they are not talented or not capable. They might say, I can't do this, or I'm just not good enough, and then stop trying. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset understand that failure is part of the journey. They see it as information, a way to figure out what works, and a step toward eventual success. In other words, mindset is what allows people to keep going when life gets hard. It is the tool that helps them face fear, push past self-doubt, and continue learning even when things do not go as planned. Without mindset, talent alone is not enough. But with the right mindset, even someone who starts with less natural ability can achieve great things. Mindset helps you embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. It helps you see mistakes not as shameful failures, but as opportunities to grow. And it helps you keep moving forward, no matter how many obstacles appear. The lesson is clear. Talent may give you a head start, but mindset is the fuel that keeps you going. Life will be difficult at times. You will experience setbacks. You will face criticism, and you will feel frustrated. But your mindset can carry you through these challenges. It shapes the way you react to failure, how you approach learning, and how you persist in the face of difficulty. A strong mindset is what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things. It is the difference between giving up when things get hard and continuing until you succeed. People with a growth mindset look at failure in a completely different way than people with a fixed mindset. When something goes wrong, they see it as a chance to learn and improve, not as a signal that they are not capable. To understand this, let's imagine a situation. Suppose you fail an important exam. If you have a fixed mindset, you might think, I'm just not smart. I will never get this subject. I'm not good enough. That way of thinking makes you feel stuck and hopeless, and it often makes people give up completely. But if you have a growth mindset, your thoughts would be different. You might say, "This exam was difficult, but I can try again. I can ask my teacher for help. I can study in a new way or try a different approach." This small change in thinking makes a huge difference. It changes what you do next, how you approach the problem, and even how you feel about yourself. Instead of giving up, you keep learning, keep practicing, and keep growing. This idea of mindset can be seen in real-life stories of people who became famous for their success. A perfect example is Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. Today, everyone knows about his invention, but very few people know how many times he failed before he succeeded. Some reports say he tried more than 1,000 experiments before discovering the solution that worked. Imagine trying something 1,000 times and failing every single time. Most people would have given up long before reaching success. But Edison thought differently. He didn't see these failures as proof that he lacked talent or intelligence. Instead, he saw each failed experiment as a step closer to finding the right answer. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is mindset in action, looking at setbacks not as the end of the road, but as part of the journey toward achievement. Edison's intelligence and skills were important, yes, but without his persistent mindset, he never would have kept going long enough to invent something that changed the world. Another inspiring story of mindset comes from J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Today, her books are known and loved all over the world. They have been translated into dozens of languages, made into blockbuster movies, and read by millions of people. But Rowling's journey to success was far from easy. Before her first book was ever published, she faced countless rejections from publishers. Some told her the book was too long. Others said her story would not sell. On top of that, she was facing serious challenges in her personal life. She was raising a child on her own and living with very little money, struggling to make ends meet. Even in these difficult circumstances, Rowling did not give up. She kept believing in her story and in herself. She kept writing, improving, and submitting her manuscript to publishers, despite repeated rejections. Her growth mindset helped her see failure not as a reason to quit, but as a signal to try again in a smarter way. Her persistence, fueled by the right mindset, eventually paid off. Today, Rowling is a living example of how mindset, more than talent or luck, can determine success. Both Edison and Rowling teach us a vital lesson. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. The way we think about failure shapes the way we respond to it. With a growth mindset, challenges become opportunities, setbacks become learning experiences, and hard work and persistence lead to achievements that can change your life. Talent may open doors, but mindset is what keeps you moving through those doors, even when the path is difficult. The power of mindset is real, and it shows itself in real stories, in real people who refuse to let fear, doubt, or failure stop them from reaching their goals. J.K. Rowling's story shows clearly how a growth mindset makes a huge difference. She faced so many challenges, yet she kept trying and refused to give up on her dream. If she had a fixed mindset, she might have thought, "This is too hard. Maybe I'm not talented enough. Maybe my dream is impossible." That kind of thinking often stops people from even trying. But Rowling didn't think that way. She believed in her story and in herself. She knew that her writing could improve over time and that someone would eventually recognize her effort. Because she kept going, not just relying on her talent, but fueled by the right mindset, she turned rejection after rejection into one of the most successful book series in history. Her story reminds us that mindset is what keeps people moving forward even when the world seems to say no. Talent may help you start, but mindset is what helps you continue. Without it, even the most talented people might give up too soon. Mindset isn't just for famous inventors or world-famous authors. It matters in everyday life, for ordinary challenges that anyone can face. For example, learning English can be really difficult for many students. When learners start, they often feel excited and motivated. They study hard, practice vocabulary, and try to speak in English. But then difficulties appear. Maybe they cannot understand a native speaker. Maybe they forget words during a conversation. Maybe they make grammar mistakes. At that moment, a fixed mindset can take over. They might say, "I'm just not good at languages. I'll never be fluent," and lose confidence. Learners with a growth mindset think differently. They see mistakes as part of learning, not proof that they are bad at languages. They might say, "That conversation was hard, but I can try again. Next time, I will do a little better. I can practice and improve." This small shift in thinking changes everything. With consistent effort, learners gradually improve. Each small step adds up. Each mistake teaches something valuable. And step by step, their confidence grows. This is the power of mindset, keeping going even when things are difficult, rather than giving up at the first challenge. Public speaking is another area where mindset makes a huge difference. Many people feel terrified at the thought of speaking in front of a group. Maybe you have felt it too. The shaking hands, racing heartbeat, and fear of forgetting what to say or making a mistake. People with a fixed mindset often tell themselves, "I'm just not good at public speaking. I can't do this," and avoid the challenge entirely. But those with a growth mindset approach it differently. They say, "I'm nervous now, but I can prepare. I can practice. I might make mistakes, but I will get better each time." That mindset allows them to face their fear, learn from experience, and gradually become more confident speakers. The lesson is clear. Mindset affects every part of life, big or small. It's not just about inventing something or writing a famous book. It's about handling everyday challenges, learning a new skill, speaking in public, studying, practicing sports, or even working on personal goals. A fixed mindset makes you see difficulties as proof that you cannot succeed. A growth mindset turns difficulties into opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. Over time, the small efforts, small adjustments, and lessons from mistakes accumulate. They build skills, confidence, and the ability to achieve goals that might have seemed impossible at first. In short, mindset is the engine that drives success. It determines whether you stop at the first obstacle or keep moving forward, learning, and improving along the way. Just like Edison kept experimenting until he succeeded, just like Rowling kept writing until she was published, and just like learners and public speakers keep practicing until they improve, mindset is what turns challenges into achievements. It shows us that talent alone is not enough. How we think, how we respond to setbacks, and how we keep trying, that is what truly shapes our success. Public speaking is a challenge that shows very clearly how mindset works. Many people are afraid of speaking in front of others. Maybe you've felt this too. Your hands might shake, your heart races, and you might worry about forgetting what to say or making a mistake. People with a fixed mindset often think, "I'm just not good at speaking. I'll never be able to do this." When they think this way, they avoid speaking opportunities altogether. And because they avoid these chances, they never improve. They never learn how to handle the fear or build their skills. But people with a growth mindset think differently. They might say, "I was nervous this time, but if I practice more, prepare carefully, and keep trying, I will improve." This small change in thinking makes a huge difference. Each time they speak in front of others, it becomes a little easier. Each time, their confidence grows. Over time, public speaking stops being terrifying and can even become enjoyable. Not because they were born with natural talent, but because their mindset helped them face their fear instead of running away from it. Now take a moment to reflect on your own life. Think about something you gave up on because you thought you weren't talented enough. Maybe it was drawing, playing a sport, learning an instrument, writing, or even speaking a new language. Think about how it felt to stop trying. Now imagine if, instead of giving up, you had continued, believing that you could improve a little at a time. How different might things be today? How much more confident might you feel? That is the real power of mindset. Mindset doesn't magically make life easy. It doesn't remove obstacles or make failure disappear. What it does is give you the courage to keep moving forward. It helps you see failure not as the end, but as feedback that shows what you can learn. It reminds you that growth is always possible. Mindset keeps you in the race when things get hard, when talent alone isn't enough. Talent might give you a head start, but mindset is what helps you continue when challenges appear. Life is full of challenges. You will face rejection, criticism, frustration, and setbacks. You will make mistakes and sometimes feel like quitting. These moments are unavoidable. In those times, talent alone cannot save you, but mindset can. With the right mindset, every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. It is the tool that allows you to keep trying, even when it feels difficult. The key is to recognize how you are thinking. When a challenge appears, ask yourself, am I reacting with a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? More importantly, ask yourself, how can I change my thinking so that I see this challenge as a chance to grow rather than a reason to quit? Even a small shift in perspective can make a huge difference. It can change failure from a stopping point into a stepping stone toward success. Remember, mindset is not about being perfect. It is about believing you can improve over time, taking small steps and continuing even when it is hard. It is what helps ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. It turns fear into courage, mistakes into lessons, and setbacks into progress. If you develop a growth mindset, you give yourself the power to keep going, no matter what life throws at you. Talent can help you start the race, but mindset is what keeps you running until you reach the finish line. Consistency is one of the most powerful lessons you can learn, not only in learning English, but in almost every part of your life. If there is one thing I wish everyone could understand early, it is this: consistency beats talent. What does that really mean? It means that showing up every day, practicing regularly, and making steady effort usually lead to greater success than relying only on natural ability. Talent might give you a head start, but consistency decides whether you reach the finish line. To understand this better, imagine two students in the same English class. The first student is naturally talented. English comes easily to them. They quickly understand grammar, remember new words without trying too hard, and often impress the teacher with their answers. It seems like they have everything going for them. But there is a problem. This student doesn't put in much effort. They think, why should I study? I'm already good at this. Because they rely on talent alone, their progress eventually slows. Now let's look at the second student. For this student, learning English is not easy. They make mistakes, forget words, and sometimes feel frustrated or embarrassed. But there is something special this student has that the first one does not: consistency. Every day, they study a little. Every week, they practice speaking. Even when they feel shy, tired, or discouraged, they keep going. They don't let small failures stop them. After 2 or 3 years, who do you think will be more fluent in English? Almost always, it is the second student, the one who kept showing up and practicing, even when it was hard. Talent may have given the first student a head start, but consistency is what carries the second student across the finish line. Small, steady effort, repeated day after day, beats raw ability when the race is long. This idea is similar to the old saying, slow and steady wins the race. You may have heard it before. It comes from the famous fable of the tortoise and the hare. In the story, a confident hare challenges a slow tortoise to a race. Everyone assumes the hare will win easily because he is naturally fast. At the start, the hare sprints far ahead, leaving the tortoise behind. But because the hare is overconfident, he stops to rest along the way. Meanwhile, the tortoise keeps moving, step by step, without stopping. In the end, the tortoise reaches the finish line first. Why? Because steady, consistent effort beats talent when talent stops trying. This lesson is true not only for learning languages but for sports, music, studying, or any skill you want to improve. It doesn't matter how naturally talented someone is. If they don't practice regularly and stay consistent, their talent alone won't get them to the top. On the other hand, someone with less natural ability but who works hard every day, practices, and keeps improving will often surpass the talented person who doesn't. Consistency also builds confidence over time. When you study or practice regularly, you see your progress grow slowly but surely. Mistakes and setbacks no longer feel discouraging because you know that small steps, repeated every day, lead to big results. It is the combination of patience, effort, and persistence that creates real, lasting success. So, whenever you feel frustrated because something is hard, remember the power of consistency. Talent may give you a quick advantage, but it is consistent effort that keeps you moving forward. Just like the tortoise, slow and steady wins the race. Step by step, day by day, you can achieve more than you ever imagined, not by relying only on talent, but by showing up, practicing, and never giving up. In the fable of the tortoise and the hare, the story takes a simple but powerful turn. The hare, confident in his natural speed, decides to take a nap halfway through the race. Meanwhile, the tortoise keeps moving steadily, step by step, never stopping, never giving up. Slowly but surely, the tortoise moves forward, and in the end, it is the tortoise, not the hare, who crosses the finish line first. This story is simple, but it carries a timeless truth. Consistency, not speed or natural talent, leads to success. This lesson is true not only in stories but also in real life. You can see it everywhere. In school, in sports, in music, in fitness, and even in personal goals. Take fitness, for example. Some people are naturally athletic. They can run fast, lift heavy weights, or jump higher than most without much training. But if they stop exercising, their strength and stamina fade quickly. On the other hand, someone who starts out weaker but trains regularly, even just a few times a week, slowly builds strength and endurance. Step by step, week by week, their body adapts. Over time, they may even become stronger than the naturally gifted person who stopped practicing.
Why?
Because consistency turns small efforts into big results. The same principle applies to creative work. Writers don't finish books in a single day. They write a little bit every day, even when they don't feel inspired. Musicians don't become experts overnight. They practice scales, notes, and exercises over months and years until their skills become natural. Each small action adds to the previous one. Each practice session strengthens their ability just a little more. This is how mastery is built, not through sudden brilliance, but through patient repetition and steady effort. Consistency may feel quiet, boring, or slow at times. It doesn't have the excitement of talent or sudden success, but its power is hidden in its patience. Over time, consistent effort creates momentum. Once momentum begins, progress starts to feel natural. You notice small improvements, a clearer sentence in writing, a stronger voice in music, faster running times, or better results in a school subject. Each small win builds confidence and fuels motivation to keep going. This hidden power of consistency is something everyone can use in their own life. Even when progress seems invisible, every small step counts. Showing up day after day, practicing a little, and refusing to quit builds skills, confidence, and results. Consistency is not glamorous, and it may not bring instant rewards, but over time, it produces lasting success. Whether in learning a new language, improving at sports, practicing an instrument, or building personal habits, consistency is what separates people who achieve their goals from those who give up too soon. Talent may help someone start quickly, but consistent effort is what keeps them moving forward and eventually leads to real achievement. It is the quiet, patient work that makes extraordinary results possible. So remember, don't wait for inspiration or natural talent alone. Show up every day, do your best, and keep moving forward, even if the progress feels slow. Small steps, repeated consistently, lead to momentum. And once you have momentum, every improvement becomes easier. Over time, the results multiply, and what seemed impossible becomes possible. That is the hidden power of consistency. It turns effort into skill, mistakes into lessons, and ordinary practice into extraordinary success. Before we finish, let's return to the power of consistency and how it applies to your life. Consistency is what turns effort into results, step by step. Talent may open a door, but consistency is what helps you walk through it. Even if you feel discouraged because you think you aren't naturally gifted, remember this. You don't need to be the fastest, the smartest, or the most talented to succeed. You just need to keep moving forward a little every day. Ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things when they show up consistently and take small steps toward their goals. Let's bring this back to something practical. Learning English. Many learners feel frustrated and think, I'm just not talented at languages. I'll never be fluent. That is a fixed mindset talking. But the truth is, talent is not the most important factor. Consistency is. If you study a little every day, reading a short article, listening to a podcast, writing a few sentences, or practicing a short conversation, you will make progress. At first, improvement might feel slow or even invisible. You may not notice big changes immediately. But imagine doing this for 6 months, 1 year, or even 2 years. Your English will become far better than someone who seems naturally talented but only studies occasionally. Language learning is like building a wall. Every day, you add one small brick. One brick alone doesn't seem like much, but over time, those bricks stack up to create something strong and lasting. That's exactly how steady, consistent effort works. It may feel slow at times, but over weeks and months, small actions accumulate into real progress. Now ask yourself, would you rather be someone who starts fast but burns out quickly, or someone who moves slowly but never stops? The world is full of people who begin with great energy, excitement, or talent but quit halfway. Meanwhile, the people who keep showing up every day, no matter how small their efforts, often reach goals that once seemed impossible. They achieve results that surprise themselves and everyone around them. Consistency also builds confidence and resilience. Each small step proves that you are capable, that you can face challenges, and that you can grow. Even 5 minutes of practice every day adds up. Every effort matters. Over time, what once felt hard becomes easier. What once felt impossible becomes normal. Your skills, your confidence, and your results grow steadily, like a plant slowly reaching for the sun. Remember, progress isn't about speed. It's about steadiness. It's about showing up, practicing a little, learning from mistakes, and refusing to give up. Talent may give a quick start, but consistent effort carries you across the finish line. If you want to grow, succeed, and reach your goals, take one small step every day, no matter how tiny it feels. Ordinary people achieve extraordinary things not because they are born talented, but because they persist. So next time you feel frustrated or discouraged, think about the tortoise. Think about the bricks you are stacking day by day. Think about the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or small efforts you make consistently. Those small, steady steps are more powerful than a burst of talent or energy. Over time, they add up to real progress, lasting skill, and real success. Consistency is quiet, slow, and sometimes boring, but it works. It is the secret behind learning, growth, and achievement. Stick with it, keep showing up, and you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Small, regular steps are the real secret to success. Studying or practicing a little every day is much more effective than doing a large amount only occasionally. For example, 5 minutes of practice every day is far more useful than 3 hours of study once a month. Over time, those small, steady actions add up to real progress. There is an old saying you may know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Big achievements take time, effort, and consistency. Talent may make you look impressive for a short while, but consistency creates long-term success. Now, let's talk about something that often stops people from reaching their full potential: self-doubt and fear of failure. These two feelings are some of the strongest barriers we face when trying to grow, improve, or start something new. They can be so powerful that they stop us before we even begin. Think about the last time you wanted to do something important. Maybe it was speaking in front of others, applying for a new opportunity, or even starting to learn English. Did you hesitate? Did you stop yourself? If you did, it probably wasn't because you lacked talent. It was because of fear. Fear of failing or fear that you weren't good enough. That's why mindset matters so much. The right mindset helps you push past hesitation and take the first step. Self-doubt is the quiet voice in your head saying things like, "You're not ready. You're not smart enough. You're going to fail." Many people listen to that voice and let it control their choices. But here's the truth. No one ever feels 100% ready when starting something new. Every great speaker, writer, athlete, or leader has experienced self-doubt. The difference is that they didn't let it stop them. Their mindset, the belief that they could improve and grow, was stronger than their fear. Fear of failure works in a similar way. When we think about failing, we often imagine the worst: making mistakes, losing respect, or feeling embarrassed.
But failure is not the end.
Failure is feedback. It shows us what doesn't work and points us toward what we need to improve. Every failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. People who succeed are not those who never fail. They're the ones who keep going despite failures, using each setback as a lesson. This is where a growth mindset becomes powerful. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof that you are not capable, a growth mindset helps you see them as information. You learn, adjust, and try again. Self-doubt and fear of failure still appear, but they don't control your actions. You take steps forward anyway. You understand that improvement comes with effort, practice, and persistence, not with perfection. Imagine someone who wants to learn English but hesitates because they fear making mistakes in conversation. A fixed mindset would stop them. "I'll never be good at this. I might say something wrong and embarrass myself." But a growth mindset changes the approach. "I might make mistakes, but every conversation is practice. Each time I speak, I improve a little more." Over time, that consistent effort builds confidence and skill, turning fear into progress. The lesson is clear. Self-doubt and fear of failure are natural, but they don't have to hold you back. Mindset is the tool that allows you to face your fears, take the first step, and keep moving forward. Talent alone cannot overcome hesitation or fear, but a strong growth mindset can. With the right mindset, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every mistake a lesson, and every step forward a victory. Failure is not the end. It's actually a step toward learning and improvement. Think about a child learning to ride a bicycle. At first, they fall over and over again. Sometimes they get frustrated, sometimes scared. But each time they fall, they get up, try again, and get a little better. If they gave up after the first fall, they would never learn to ride. That's the key. Failure is part of the process, a bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. When you fail, the important question is not, "Why me?" Instead, ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" That small change in thinking is the heart of a growth mindset. As children, we naturally understand this. We fall, make mistakes, and try again without overthinking. But as we grow older, many adults start to see failure differently. They begin to believe that failure is a sign that they are not good enough. "If I fail, it means I'm not talented. I should stop trying." This is a fixed mindset, and it can hold people back from reaching their potential. But the truth is the opposite. Failure is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you are trying. And trying is the only way to improve, the only path to success. This is where mindset becomes so important. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities are permanent. They say things like, "I'm just not good at this. I'll fail anyway." Some people are born for this, but not me. This thinking makes it hard to try new things, face challenges, or take risks. A person with a growth mindset believes something very different. I may not be good at this now, but if I practice, I will get better. That single belief changes everything. It gives courage to face fear, accept mistakes, and keep moving forward even when things are difficult. With a growth mindset, failure is no longer something to fear. It is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every setback a step closer to improvement. Let's make this personal. Think about your own life. What usually stops you from trying? Is it really a lack of skill? Or is it fear? Fear of looking foolish, fear of making mistakes, fear of failing in front of others? Many English learners know enough words, grammar, and expressions to communicate, but they hesitate. They stay silent in conversations, avoid speaking in front of a group, or stop practicing because they are afraid of making mistakes. They think things like, "I'll say it wrong," or "people will laugh at me." But these fears are not signs that you are not capable. They are signs that you are human. The key is to act despite fear. Start small. Try speaking a word, a sentence, or a short conversation. Make mistakes. Learn from them. Each small effort builds confidence. Each attempt teaches something new. Over time, speaking, learning, or practicing something challenging becomes easier and more natural. The more you act despite fear, the more your skills grow and your fear shrinks. Remember, failure is a teacher, not an enemy. Every person who has ever succeeded has failed many times along the way. What makes the difference is not talent alone, it is mindset. A growth mindset allows you to see challenges as opportunities, mistakes as lessons, and effort as the path to improvement. It helps you push past self-doubt, take the first step, and keep going even when it's hard. So the next time you hesitate, ask yourself, is it fear or lack of ability stopping me? Then choose to act anyway. Each step, even if it feels small or awkward, brings you closer to your goal. The courage to try, the willingness to fail, and the commitment to grow. These are the real keys to success. Many people hold themselves back because of fear. They worry about making mistakes or being judged. You might recognize some of these thoughts. What if I say the wrong word? What if my accent sounds strange? What if people laugh at me? These worries build an invisible wall between you and your progress. The result is that people avoid trying, and because they don't practice, they never improve. The problem isn't talent or ability, it's fear. And the solution isn't getting more talent, it's developing the right mindset. A growth mindset changes the way we see mistakes. Instead of thinking, if I fail, it means I'm not good enough, we can think, if I fail, I'll learn something important. Instead of saying, I can't do this, we can say, I can't do this yet, but I will get better. That small change in how you talk to yourself may seem simple, but it makes a huge difference. It allows you to try new things without the heavy pressure of needing to be perfect. You give yourself permission to learn, practice, and grow. Another way mindset helps is by encouraging small, manageable steps. When a goal feels too big, it can be overwhelming and fear grows stronger. But when you break it into small steps, each action becomes easier. For example, if speaking English in front of a group feels scary, you can start small. Talk to just one friend. Record your voice for a single minute. Then gradually increase the time or the audience. If applying for a new job feels intimidating, begin by updating your CV. If running a marathon seems impossible, start by walking around the block. Each small step reduces fear and builds confidence. Every time you face a challenge, your fear loses a little power until it no longer controls you. The key to overcoming fear is not becoming completely fearless. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting even when fear is present. It means saying, yes, I might fail. Yes, I might make mistakes, but I will try anyway. Each time you make that choice, you grow stronger. Each time you face your fear, your confidence increases a little more. That is how real growth happens, not when life is easy, but when you choose courage in the presence of fear. Think about your own life. What is stopping you from taking action? Is it really a lack of skill, or is it the fear of failing, looking foolish, or being judged? Most of the time, fear, not ability, is what holds people back. And the good news is fear can be managed. With the right mindset, you can face it, take small steps forward, and watch your confidence grow. So remember, fear is normal. Everyone feels it. The difference is what you do with it. You don't need to wait until fear disappears. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to choose courage, step by step, day by day. With each small act of bravery, you weaken fear, strengthen confidence, and move closer to your goals. The choice is yours. Let fear stop you, or let courage guide you forward. If fear is what has been holding you back, remember this. Fear cannot control you unless you let it. With the right mindset, you can take steps forward, learn from mistakes, grow through challenges, and eventually succeed. The key is not to eliminate fear entirely, no one ever does, but to act despite it. Each small action you take weakens fear and strengthens your confidence, building the habit of courage over time. Now, let's talk about how to build a stronger mindset in a practical way. When people hear the word mindset, they often think it's something abstract or complicated, like a special mental skill only some people have. But the truth is, mindset is built through simple, daily choices. You don't need to be positive all the time or magically remove all problems from your life. You don't need to wake up feeling endlessly motivated. Mindset is created by the small ways you shift your thoughts, face challenges, and respond to setbacks every day. Mindset grows through small mental shifts and actions, repeated over time. You don't have to change everything at once. You just need to start seeing things differently, one thought, one choice, one action at a time. Here are some simple, practical shifts you can start using today to strengthen your mindset. Shift 1. Focus on progress, not perfection. Perfectionism is one of the biggest traps that holds people back. Many people think they need everything to be perfect before they try. They wait until they feel completely ready, until their plan is flawless, or until they're sure they won't make any mistakes. But here's the truth. Perfection never comes. There is no perfect moment, no perfect skill level, and no perfect plan. If you wait for perfection, you will never start. What really matters is progress, the small, consistent steps that move you forward, no matter how tiny they seem. Progress is real, measurable, and achievable. For example, think about learning English. If you wait until you know every word, every grammar rule, and can speak flawlessly, you will never start. But if you focus on small improvements, like learning one new word each day, understanding a phrase you didn't know last week, or speaking a little more than yesterday, you'll steadily grow. Every small effort adds up. Over time, these tiny steps become significant achievements. The most important idea here is that progress beats perfection every time. Perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. Progress is real, practical, and within your control. Each time you practice, try, or speak, you move closer to your goal. Each time you focus on improvement rather than flawlessness, you build confidence, skill, and resilience. That simple shift in perspective, from expecting to be perfect to valuing progress, is the foundation of a strong, growth-oriented mindset. So, instead of asking, "Am I ready? Will I do it perfectly?" ask yourself, "How can I improve today? What small step can I take that moves me forward?" Each small action is a brick in the wall of your growth. Each effort, no matter how minor it seems, is proof that you are building your skills and your courage. The journey is long, but steady progress makes it achievable.